Chief General Wakaruzzama made a big statement, dropping a big hint at a coup in Bangladesh. CNN News 18 has exclusively accessed reasons on why the Bangladesh Army Chief made such a statement and the possible reasons on why he and Yunus are at loggerheads. Why is the Bangladesh Army Chief upset with Yunus? Now, intel sources have told CNN News 18, and this is input shared with our senior editor, Security Affairs, Manoj Kumar Gupta, the group editor. First reason, Wakaruzzama was made an appointee of Hasina regime. The second reason, he worked very closely with Sheikh Hasina. Radical groups that were kept away under Sheikh Hasina are now part of the current Yunus ecosystem. The ISI chief's visit to Dhaka and his meeting with the Quartermaster General of the Bangladesh Army, with speculation that Pak may prop him up as the next puppet army chief, is also a concern. The fifth reason is he believes democracy, he believes very strongly in democracy, and he's upset with this entire radical churn, and for the last 8-9 months, no talk about actually committing the country into a fresh round of elections. The Jamaat calling shots under Mohammad Yunus. The sixth reason, he acted as an advisor under Sheikh Hasina and now perhaps is being snubbed under Mohammad Yunus. He's the one who actually helped engineer not just the exit of Sheikh Hasina, but also the takeover and perhaps a peaceful transition, or quite literally a peaceful coup. Mohammad Yunus's delay in fresh elections. This is the seventh reason. He wants people's government to take charge. The eighth reason, he does not want directions from Jamaat or terror outfits or radical outfits. And the ninth reason, the army being seen as a mute spectator in the light of recent incidents. The 10th reason is Mohammad Yunus launching multiple parties and forcing students to launch their parties. And Yunus paving the way for more interference by international forces. The 12th reason, the Pak Army's interference through political masters. And of course, against the possibility of the Pak puppet Bangladesh Army Quartermaster General Rahman as a new army chief. So there are multiple concerns. But Wakaruzzama is losing, he's running out of patience, and he's warning the people of Bangladesh and also the current interim advisor to get their act right. Otherwise, not blame him for the consequences.
যে আমি সতর্ক করিনি, আমি আপনাদের সতর্ক করে দিচ্ছি। আপনারা যদি নিজেদের মধ্যে ভেদাভেদ ভুলে একসাথে কাজ না করতে পারেন, নিজেরা যদি কাদা ছোড়াছুড়ি করেন, মারামারি কাটাকাটি করেন, এই দেশ এবং জাতির স্বাধীনতা সার্বভৌমত্ব বিপন্ন হবে। আমি আজকে বলে দিলাম, নাইলে আপনারা বলবেন যে আমি আপনাদের সতর্ক করিনি। আমি সতর্ক করে দিচ্ছি আপনাদের। আমার অন্য কোনো আকাঙ্ক্ষা নাই, আমার একটাই আকাঙ্ক্ষা, দেশ এবং জাতিটাকে একটা সুন্দর জায়গায় রেখে ছুটি করা। I had enough. Was last 7-8 months I had enough. আমি চাই দেশ এবং জাতিকে একটা সুন্দর জায়গায় রেখে।
Akanksha Swarup now joins us with more details. So this is, and a day later when he hints at this, we have the student leader who's actually resigned from the Yunus advisory and launched his own political party. He was the one who Mohammad Yunus credited in front of Bill Clinton and at that Clinton Foundation meeting in America, saying he's responsible for all of it. So clearly things are playing according to a script not convenient to the current army chief of Bangladesh.
Right. Anand, I think that's very evident now, especially after what the Army Chief Zama had to say yesterday, that he's almost done with what has been happening in his country over the last 6 to 7 months. And in fact, going by the inputs that have been shared by our Security Affairs editor, Mr. Manoj Gupta, we all know that there is, there are 3 power centers which are now emanating from the Bangladesh Army itself. One, of course, is being controlled by the Army Chief Zama himself. Then you have the Lieutenant General Haq, Lieutenant General Rahman. As you rightly highlighted, there are also reports which are indicating that Lieutenant General Rahman might just take over if the army chief were to move abroad. But going by the reasons, you look at the kind of proximity that the current Bangladeshi army chief has with the Sheikh Hasina regime, or even the Awami League. You rightly highlighted that yes, student leaders are being encouraged to launch their own parties. This only so that Mohammad Yunus can secure a fractured mandate, which he could use very much to sort of use international pressure to have his government very much continue. Now, remember, the BNP, the Jamaat, both have been urging for early elections, something that Mohammad Yunus is trying to avoid. He's being very elusive about it. But the fact that the army chief right now in Bangladesh has been very close to Sheikh Hasina, is also somebody who's seen as a centrist figure, is something that could very much backfire for him as well.
Yes, he is pro-democracy, Wakaruzzama, and he may, if things play out on a different script contrary to how Mohammad Yunus wants it, we may see perhaps elections very soon and the return of Sheikh Hasina. And it's the Awami League that has got a broader pan-Bangladesh footprint compared to the other parties. Now, how this plays out, we'll have to wait and watch. Thank you, Akanksha. Moving on. Amid the Hindi imposition row, the politics now heats up over delimitation, a process that could reshape the political landscape of Tamil Nadu. This is what Chief Minister M K Stalin has raised concerns on, that a delimitation exercise, particularly one based on projected 2026 population figures, could lead to Tamil Nadu losing up to 8 to 9 Lok Sabha seats, which he argues is a strategy by the centre to reduce the political influence of the opposition-ruled states. Now, as a war of words has escalated, speaking at the inauguration of the BJP district offices in Coimbatore, Union Home Minister Amit Shah launched a scathing attack on the ruling DMK establishment in Tamil Nadu, accusing its leaders of corruption and misgovernance. Rejecting Chief Minister M K Stalin's allegations that Tamil Nadu was denied central funds, Amit Shah launched a blistering attack at Stalin and his son Udayanidhi, accusing them of misleading the people of Tamil Nadu. Amit Shah further dismissed the charges raised by Stalin regarding the centre's policies and fund allocations and called Stalin's accusations a lie, and categorically stated that there was no truth in the claims made by the DMK government. He also took a direct aim at Stalin's allegations of fund denial by the centre. The Home Minister rejected the claim, stating that the centre has never withheld funds meant for Tamil Nadu. So clearly, the Hindi imposition, NEP and some of the other aspects also being countered by the Home Minister. He further asserted that the BJP will form a government in Tamil Nadu in 2026. He didn't say BJP, he said NDA. The NDA will form a government, so hinting at a possible partnership with the AIDMK. We have to wait and watch, and some of the other allies. And to end nepotism and corruption in the state, while also removing individuals that allowed anti-Bharat activities. Now, Stalin has strongly criticized the NEP, accusing the central government of attempting to impose Hindi in Tamil Nadu. The centre has rejected the claims made by Stalin and other opposition leaders. They argue that the opposition to NEP is driven by political motivation rather than genuine concerns over education. Tamil Nadu CM made it clear that as long as the DMK is in power in Tamil Nadu, the state will not accept the imposition of any national education policy that threatens linguistic and cultural autonomy, to which the centre has urged the states to look beyond their narrow regional perspectives and recognize the larger vision behind the NEP. Stalin accused the centre of using financial incentives and funds as tools of coercion to pressure states. Centre, in response to Stalin's accusations, has called on the states to rise above political differences and recognize the larger picture of the NEP. Now to the other point, delimitation. Stalin has expressed strong concerns over the delimitation exercise, alleging that Tamil Nadu could lose 8 MPs under the proposed changes. The centre, in response to Stalin's concerns, argues that Tamil Nadu will not lose seats in parliament but will instead benefit from the delimitation process. Stalin fiercely criticized the delimitation exercise, calling it a sword hanging over the South Indian states, particularly Tamil Nadu. The centre, in contrast, has strongly defended the delimitation process, stating that Tamil Nadu will not lose a single seat in parliament. The proportion percentage will be maintained. The process will also lead to suppression of Tamil Nadu's voice in parliament, says Stalin. The centre says that Stalin and his son Udayanidhi are deviating from real issues. They've accused them of deliberately trying to deflect and mislead the people of Tamil Nadu. To better understand the validity of Stalin's concerns regarding the potential loss of 8 MPs for Tamil Nadu, in the event of a delimitation exercise, we also need to understand how many Lok Sabha seats each state and union territory would get if they are allocated the same according to the projected population figures of 2026. Now, we've compared the data from the Indian Express, which maintains the current seat of 543, and American think tank Carnegie Endowment International Peace, which proposes an increase of a total number of seats to 846. Now, here's what it looks like. According to the projection by the Indian Express, Uttar Pradesh, that currently has 80 seats, would have 94, witnessing an increase of 14. However, according to the projection by Carnegie, and the state would witness an increase of 63 seats, and have 143 Lok Sabha seats in total. Now, according to the projection by Indian Express, the current seats in Bihar would be increased by 11 seats, while Carnegie data states that the seats would be increased from 40 to 79. Rajasthan has 25 Lok Sabha seats as per the Indian Express, but then the number goes up to 32 as per Indian Express. Carnegie says the number will go twofold up to 50. States in northern India being projected to be top gainers. Here's a look at the southern states. According to the projection by Indian Express, Karnataka, that currently has 28 seats, would have 26 seats, witnessing a decrease of 2 seats. Carnegie projects the seats to increase by 13, taking the total to 41. Kerala, however, the Indian Express projects the seats to witness a decrease from 20 to 14. Carnegie projecting the number of seats to remain unchanged following the delimitation exercise. And in Tamil Nadu, the Indian Express has projected the most decrease of 9 seats, whereas Carnegie data suggests an uptake of 10 seats, taking the total tally to 49. Listen to what Amit Shah had to say.
मैं फिर से एक बार कोयम्बतूर की ये पवित्र भूमि पर से दक्षिण के सभी राज्य की जनता को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि मोदी जी ने निश्चित रूप से आपके सभी हितों की रक्षा कर डिलिमिटेशन में आपका एक भी सीट प्रोरेटा कम न हो और जो बढ़ोतरी होगी इसमें उचित हिस्सा दक्षिण भारत के राज्यों को भी मिलेगा। इसमें कोई शंका रखने की जरूरत नहीं है।
Kalyan Raman of the BJP, Tamil Nadu BJP with us, Pullarao political analyst, and Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS with us. Namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, who would you lean to in terms of the numbers? Clearly, Mr. Stalin is taking the Indian Express report and somewhere airing those concerns, whereas Carnegie and international data suggests otherwise. But the fact of the matter is this entire delimitation exercise has not even happened yet.
So even if it happens, Anand, the point here is the number of seats totally is going to go up. The population of Tamil Nadu in 2001, when delimitation last happened, compared to now, it's significantly higher. How is the number of seats going to go down? Sure, in proportion to others, UP seats will go up, Bihar seats will go up compared to Tamil Nadu. But Tamil Nadu share is definitely going up. This is, this is astounding thing about this, Anand, is that this has gotten any traction. When all somebody needs to know is look at 2001 population of Tamil Nadu and look at the 2025 population of Tamil Nadu. It is just natural that it has to go up. All right. Now, this was the same party that was very happily fighting with Rahul Gandhi, who was Jitni Abadi Utni Haq. Suddenly, no more Jitni Abadi Utni Haq. Jitni Abadi Utni Haq when it applies to caste, but not when it applies to region. I'm sorry, you now have to bite the entire, you've ordered the pizza, now you have to swallow the entire pizza. No leftovers.
Pullarao ji, we take the conversation from yesterday forward.
Okay, you see, the main thing is, I think Mr. Amit Shah has made a blunder. What is pro rata? That's exactly what Stalin is saying. Why did you get the 42nd Amendment in 1976? Why did you get the 84th Amendment in 2002? To freeze the seats. There is enough disharmony in India. I heard what Mr. Iyer said. I respect his views. But what they are saying is, Tamil Nadu seats will increase. Andhra seats will increase. Yes. But Uttar Pradesh will increase by enormous amount. The gap will be too much. Let me just bring one point. Why did they have in the USA, whatever the population of a state is, the Senate will have only 2 seats? That's a federal system. It is a very, very dangerous path. Right or wrong aside, the perceptions. Now what will happen? Let's say Tamil Nadu gets 50 seats. Uttar Pradesh gets 130 seats, 120 seats. Tamil Nadu's power proportionally goes down. Therefore, what Mr. Amit Shah has said, unwittingly when he says pro rata, it means he has agreed with Stalin. Maybe Stalin will articulate it slowly that, and I also believe, forget Mr. Stalin, that don't go on these paths. We have enough disharmony. Why did they freeze the states, Mr. Narasimhan? Vajpayee was no less a statesman than anybody we had, 2002. Indira Gandhi did it during the emergency. Why? Because they knew these kind of things. No need. Let Tamil Nadu have 40 seats. Uttar Pradesh have 80 seats. Things are going on. That's exactly it. Your population is going up. And what you're doing is will increase the number of seats. Therefore, that is not correct. If you're going to say you're going to change the structure, fine, say it. That's what he has said. I think it was a misspoken situation. It will have its ramifications. The correct thing, yes, I agree what Mr. Iyer said. Itna sankh hai, itna abadi hai. I agree. That's correct. He is correct. When you want that, but Prime Minister also pointed out that I don't agree with that, but you agree with that correctly. The correct thing is to put a cap on this topic. Let it go.
No, but
why you want to increase?
Let Abhijit Iyer Mitra respond, because you can't see 10%, like we said yesterday. 10% of 100 will be 10, sir, and 10% of 200 will be 20. And so you can't then fight and say, oh, 10 is less than 20, but I must also get 20 because you are getting 20. That's not the logic. That logic defeats itself. When you make that kind of a logic, your representation will go down. That's unfair. The population of Tamil Nadu is 8.53 crore. Population of Uttar Pradesh is 26 crore. And are you saying that Tamil Nadu should have greater proportionate representation than Uttar Pradesh in the Lok Sabha? How is that fair to the people of Uttar Pradesh or Bihar? That's what they're saying. What are they saying? They're saying that today you have 39 seats. So what is the percentage of representation of Tamil Nadu in parliament? When the size increases, that percentage of representation will remain the same as what the HMS said. And if I have understood him correctly, pro rata there will not be any decrease, is what he said. So today, if Tamil Nadu's seats out of 543 is 40 seats, then what is the percentage? You can calculate that same percentage. Even if the house amount goes up to 800, 850, 900, we don't know. That percentage will be retained, is what he is saying. Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Kalyan Ramanji is also back with us. I'll go across to him after you. Abhijit, yes, please.
Pro rata, even under the pro rata, the number of seats will increase. Why? Because your population was what, 6.2 crores in 2001.
Correct.
Now it is 8.5 crores.
Correct.
Number one. Number two, this notion that somehow UP, which is now worth 130 seats, to be retained at 80, and Tamil Nadu, which is worth about 50-51 seats, to be retained at 39, I mean counting Pondicherry 40, is the same as apartheid. The reverse of all of this is apartheid, where you will not give seats based on population. You will freeze it in time. How is this any different from the Afrikaners in South Africa, saying we are 25% of the population, but we must get 80% of the seats in parliament? It's no different. It's exactly the same thing. So what Stalin is advocating for is outright apartheid. Now, he has a point. If a state does well, we're being punished for doing well. Okay, brilliant. Now, what is the solution to that? There is no solution to it. We are not a democracy that functions on 1 rupee, 1 vote. We're a democracy that functions on 1 person, 1 vote. You look at the delimitation that's happened in America. California, at one point of time in the Presidential Electoral College, used to be 17 seats. Today, it is a huge number in the Electoral College. You look at the number of senators, House of Representatives, Congress, how much it used to send. It was 7 members when California started off. Today, it has the highest representation, something like 54 members in the US House of Congress. That is how things work. It's very simple. One way you can increase the number is you increase economic migration. One of the reasons New York and California have such huge numbers in the US House of Congress is because they keep attracting people through business opportunity and increase population through migration. Are you willing to do that? No. You see, when you say the South is doing fantastically well, the actual per capita income difference between Bihar and Tamil Nadu is minuscule. They're all low income states. This is not like China, where Beijing has a $30,000 per capita income and Tibet has a $2,600 per capita income. We're not talking. So, high income, low income, doing better, not doing better. These are all ludicrous statistics. This is like one Jhuggi Jhopdi wala calling the other Jhuggi Jhopdi wala because he put a corrugated tin roof on his head. Oh, you're doing very well, sir. That's not how things.
Yeah, I agree. Kalyan Raman is also with us. Kalyan Ramanji, we had some issue with your connection, but now I think it's all sorted. Please go ahead. Yes. Your thoughts. Is Mr. Stalin deliberately trying to fearmonger, and will this crying wolf every time pay dividends? Is this being done in the run-up to elections to create a frenzy? Or is there a genuine concern they're saying is Tamil Nadu's interest being compromised and DMK is the elected government and we have to bat for the interest of the Tamil people?
The first and foremost thing is that in the absence of definition of how the delimitation is going to take place, anything that is being speculated is insane, to use the lowest possible slander against whoever is trying to imagine and try to promote a kind of enmity towards the rest of the nation. This Dravidian movement itself is anti-national, anti-North by default for a long time. And now what they are trying to do is the delimitation is going to take place in the form of population alone. That's the impression they are trying to create.
Right.
What we can see is that roughly there are 40,000 people or 50,000, 40 to 50,000 people in Lakshadweep as voters for the entire Lok Sabha. Whereas in Malkajgiri, the size is over 30 lakhs. So what is the factor that is going to work on the delimitation is still not defined. In the absence of a clear-cut definition, you have to go by the words of the Home Minister, who clearly and categorically today stated that the numbers will increase on the basis of pro rata. Then why this delimitation has to take place is the logical, natural question that happens. For the sake of proper administration, naturally, we need to have more number of people participating, and that is why we have envisioned a larger parliament to have a larger participation, and hence the number is going to increase, and we have fixed a time frame in which the numbers are going to go up. And if you don't go by the promise of the Honorable Home Minister himself in Coimbatore today, then what are we talking about? And where the speculation has come to stay from somebody who always needs momentary feeding every now and then. Somebody has to give him a chit of paper to answer to any question. Where he is arriving at such a imagination. He's not a man who can even think. I'm sorry to say that Stalin is an insane personality who is trying to promote the insanity across the state. Not only across the state, but also rest of the South India. It is an unfortunate fact that the society will not succumb to it. Tamil Nadu will not take it.
Now, CPM has also backed Stalin's statement. See, I think the South states are getting a little worried.
What is this CPM all about? They are a bunch of stooges.
No, but
not
they're
correct.
not calling them.
Kalyan
Kalyan Ramanji, you know, everybody can call everybody names. It's very easy to do that. My point is,
they have taken money on record. They have taken money on record. Please understand. They have taken money on record. They have taken money, 25 crores on record. For the sake of what? During 2019 elections, for the sake of what? They have taken money. They were bribed to be in the alliance.
No.
How can I not call them by names?
No. You can call them names, but there is a narrative that's being pushed. You have to counter that narrative. Now, what I'm saying is, will the other southern states also start echoing this? That the south of the Vindhyas, the overall comparative representation will go down. There is confusion around pro rata. There is also confusion around population, if it is going to be the base of population. What the Home Minister has said, does that clarify things that pro rata, the percentage will be maintained? Is that assurance enough?
It is a word of the Honorable Home Minister himself, number one. Number two, if there is any chief minister who is looked at by the entire southerners with the highest level of contempt, the one who reads with a piece of paper, it is Stalin. Nobody else. Others use their brain. It is not Stalin. Stalin never uses his brain. It is all unfortunate. That is the kind of CM we have. So, who is going to follow somebody who is uninspiring?
Sir,
how they managed to get the numbers in terms of votes for the system or the mechanism that they have built over a period of 15 years.
Again, a person
that
reading.
We can count.
Sir, with due respect to all our political readers, a person reading out of a paper or person reading out of a teleprompter does not show the mental ability or the capacity of that person. Very, very respectfully, they are all senior statesmen. You are welcome to have your opinion. But the larger question is he making an informed opinion or is he deliberately trying to just cause a frenzy and try and fearmonger? Mr. Pullarao, from NEP where there is no Hindi imposition, he claimed Hindi imposition. to this delimitation issue where there is no taking away seats and he is claiming taking away seats based on certain reports? Is that an educated assessment, or is he deliberately trying to tell the Tamil people, you better vote for me only, otherwise you are in danger? You better vote for me and my party only, otherwise Tamil people, Tamil existence is in danger. Then this is whipping up a frenzy.
Let me just come. You nicely said you're not sure on the pro rata business. 140 seats, roughly. I mean, 141 or 140 South has out of 543. If the thing goes up to 800, will they have 200? No.
Sir, it's the same. You have to look at a percentage, sir. You talk in percentages. No, you mix. You deliberately. Pullarao I'll tell you, you are deliberately playing with percentage and numbers. I told you the same thing. 10% is 10%. 10% of 200 will be 20. 10% of 100 will be 10. You can't then say, then if that 100 becomes 150, 10% will be 15. If that 100 becomes, if that 200 becomes 300, 10% will be 30. Then you will say, oh, 10 to 20 only 10 seats difference. 15 to 30, 15 seats difference. This is unfair. That cannot be the yardstick. You either stick to numbers or stick to. He is saying pro rata percentage will remain the same.
That's the way they look at it. And Mr. Iyer referred to California. I agree with him on New York. Trump won his election without New York and California. And Trump raised the issue that they're replenishing voters in California. They're bringing all these guys and putting, whether it's correct or not, Trump won his election on that. That they're replenishing voters in California, New York, all these guys coming from here and there, giving them votes. Then he won. Though he lost California, though he lost Illinois, though he lost New York. So what I'm trying to say is, I may be wrong, but this is an important issue in the South. They watch these things. Are perceptions important? Yes, they are important.
No, but when the Home Minister of the country is saying representation will be the same, Abhijit Iyer Mitra for the Chief Minister of the state to say, no, representation will not be the same. We need to whip up a frenzy. I need to scaremonger you. Is that fair? Is he scaremongering, or is he saying, watch out, we need to be alert? What is he doing?
Tell me, Anand, when have you ever known Stalin to be responsible in anything? You saw the kind of statements his son made about Sanatana Dharma, what Posunga, Vandu Yellathiyo Kadiko, malaria varum, God knows what not he said about Sanatana Dharma. You think the father is going to be any better? The apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, you see. So this, everything, Hindi also, Hindi imposition, Hamko Gindi Nagi Malum, whatever he has to say, he says it. It's better to take it in one year and take it out of the other year. This is, I wonder, I want to go to Thousand Lights and places like that and tell him to have the same attitude towards seats with Muslim seats in Tamil Nadu as well, and let's see how many votes he gets the next time. The biggest increase in UP would be Muslim areas out there, which I want us to first get the figures of who is increasing where, and then take it to Tamil Nadu. Now, if the BJP is really smart, they should catch him and say, well, Thousand Lights, the population is increased. We shouldn't increase their representation either. All of these things, there are lots of games to be played out here. The man is caught up in, first, he loves fear-mongering. I don't know if you remember, there used to be a real clown of a minister called Tamilkudi Mahan, Minister for Tamil Affairs. His only job was to put up posters everywhere saying, God bless, long live divine Tamil, holy Tamil mother. Idhukku oru minister thevaya. They actually pay people, give people a government car with revolving red light, big this thing, bungalow on Shemier's Road, for just putting up posters like this.
No, but that is better than a minister having a portfolio in another state for 20 months, realizing there is no department in the same.
Let me come in here.
Everybody kept quiet. Everybody kept quiet.
Let me come in here to say that somebody had thrown some fanciful idea into Stalin's brain that if he start talking about such fanciful things across the state, keeping away from the existing issues, like who the culprit was in the Anna university issue and so on and so forth. We have to keep on making issues which are not unfounded issues. This idea somebody has thrown into his brain, that is why he's getting caught in unwanted things. Let's take the case of GST. We will not pay GST. Who the hell are you to not to pay GST? It is not under your control. There is SGST, CGST, there is IGST. Not a single one of them under your control. And you saying that within a second I will stop all the thing. And today I was hearing some statement from somebody that they are going to pass a resolution that they will not pay the tax. That is the GST. When you talk about tax, it is GST we are talking about. How a government run by such a huge party since 50 and odd years can be so nonsensical? Brainless creatures are running the government. Very unfortunate to say that.
No,
Something that is not under your control, you are going to say that you are going to control. It is like I am going to put west towards north or sun towards the west for rising. It is highly nonsensical, and that is what they are trying to do to fool around the country. They are lowering the standard of the Tamils, actually. By doing so, they are reducing the actual characteristic and standard of the otherwise
tell me, Mr. Kalyan
vibrant,
Raman,
brilliant Tamil
who
population.
enjoys the mandate in Tamil Nadu currently? Both in
Yes.
Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha, both in Assembly.
If you ask me this question, I can give you a wonderful answer. It is just the booth management system that they have been having since 1967. Nothing more than that. People simply have no respect for Stalin or anybody for that matter. It's just the booth management they have been having, coupled with anti-incumbency of last 10 years of AIADMK between 2011 and 21. Nothing else. Nothing more than that. Hardly they had 3% more votes compared to AIADMK. We all know that.
So you believe...
And the only government that was repeated was in 2016 by AIADMK in the last 30 and odd years.
But you would also accept, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, that if such narratives are being pushed, and rightly, wrongly, whatever, the counter to those narratives is not as effective as it should be, is it? Or are things changing now in Tamil Nadu?
Look, there is a reason that the BJP doesn't gain traction in Tamil Nadu as much as it should have. They just look, Annamalai has done wonders, but there's lots more that needs to be done. I think, one of these things that should be pushed is they really need to start going to Thousand Lights and saying that they want to get rid of all your votes and things like that. They want you to bring 20 constituencies down to one constituency. You see, why is it the BJP is always in reaction mode responding out there? They need to be like Rottweilers going and biting everybody else, and everybody else should be running away saying, ayyo, ayyo, ayyo. That is how you win. When you are the small party, you have to be the Rottweiler. Here they're behaving like, Karunanidhi used to have a Pomeranian called Blackie. They're behaving like Blackie. If you went to his house, he'd come, he'd lick your hand, want to get scratched. You can't win seats like this, boss. So you're absolutely right. I think the BJP needs to take its narrative game in a very, very different direction. This is not working. They need to start attacking. They need to keep coming up with, I don't care how many ludicrous statements they make ridiculous statements. The point is, it is the DMK that should be responding to you, not the other way around.
But the BJP will believe that what they have been able to, it takes time, but what they have been able to effectively do in Delhi, what they have been able to do in some of the other places where they didn't have a footprint for many decades, is about slowly working and slowly waiting that eventually the person who cries wolf gets called out and people stop believing that person. But somewhere there is a certain responsibility people in public office need to have, elected representatives need to have, that they need to pass on educated information. They should raise concerns, but fear-mongering and deliberately denying certain people their rights and also an opportunity, equal opportunity going forward. Here I talk about NEP and this whole thing about Hindi imposition. It's not 1969, it's not the Congress government which said Hindi has to be implemented and forcefully implemented. No, it is NEP which says any third language. So then you are reducing the employability, the acceptance of Tamil people, because if Tamil starts resisting other languages in other areas will start resisting Tamil. So how is Tamil going to grow? So it's going to be counterproductive that way too. Well, Pularauji, final word. So that's where I'm saying, is it responsible of the DMK government? And if they are resorting to this, despite having the mandate that they got in Lok Sabha 2024, is the DMK concerned that they are losing ground in Tamil Nadu? Are these the first signs of a leader thinking that they are losing ground and they need to fearmonger? They need to fear is the most primal instinct, and let me feed on that. Somewhere keep the flock together.
No, I don't think so. I don't think, Stalin or the DMK is this a new thing. They always took these stances all along. They used to be much more aggressive. They are not aggressive. They are making these statements. It's nothing new. Many people, North India suddenly say they attacked Hinduism thing. We have been reading about it, hearing about it, reading about it, that it started in 1920. It's nothing new. Tamil Nadu has a different kind of texture there. But I agree with you. These issues are not going to change BJP's role there. It will be very difficult for them to get together in alliance also now. And I'm going to say something which is going to irk you, but I do it respectfully. 40 seats, Mr. Annamalai promised 15 to 20 for the BJP. Narendra Modi nearly lost power because of these kind of gambles. You're right.
Sometimes you have to aim to climb the Everest to get on top of a tree, sir.
40 years.
So that's their party strategy. For the DMK, they have to try and show and win an election without alliances. Even the DMK has alliances, and even the DMK is winning elections in Tamil Nadu because it has got alliances and it is shoring up about 10 to 11% of the vote share.
Correct.
So I think they have to reflect, saying since 1960s they have been present and they still today do not have a core voter base more than 24%. So that's also reflective of Tamil Nadu.
Correct.
Thank you. I have to wind up. Let's hope this whole thing of misinformation stops and there is healthy debate on real issues and current issues. And we've, for our viewers, settled the issues as far as delimitation is concerned. The promise coming from the Home Minister of Karnataka, of the country itself, beg your pardon, Home Minister Amit Shah himself, that it's going to be pro rata. The representation will not be compromised of the southern states at all, even once the delimitation exercise is over. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's the final day of Kumbh. It's Shivratri, and we bring you a musical ode. It's a Grammy winners collab. People who have been to the Kumbh, their experience via music. Stay with us for this Shivratri special.
समुनायै नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
Brilliant. Namaste and welcome to this Maha Shivratri special with the sounds of Kumbh. It's a Grammy winners collab, and just the opening notes showcase how as the universe and the humanity of the planet Earth is converging at Prayagraj. The sounds of Kumbh have converged here at our News 18 studio. So let me introduce everyone here, famed artists of repute, and it's such a pleasure and an honor to have them with us. Kala Ramnath on the violin with us. We've got Ron Cobb, famed flautist with us. We have Shiroi, amazing vocalist. Siddhant Bhatia, we're meeting and crossing paths for the second time in the last few days. Siddhant is also one of the co-producers of this amazing collection of tracks. Of course, Kanika ji, who doesn't recognize her, but then it's a very different avatar of hers. and it's so good to see you here as part of this aspect of music. And Lars Muller on the sax, amazing. And then, of course, Zoeb Khan, amazing tabla player with us to my right. So all of you, thank you very, very much. Namaste. Kanika ji, how did this happen? Sounds of Kumbh.
Well, it's quite an honor to be a part of this project. It happened quite last minute also for me, and I'm still waiting. My soul is still waiting in line to actually go to Kumbh. But I must say that, experiencing, the art and the sound just in the last 30 minutes, I feel I've been to Kumbh because I literally felt each one of them, and I think when they were playing, when they were,
yeah, it just connects, doesn't it?
It was connecting, and each time I had goosebumps, and I literally almost felt like I was there. So hopefully my soul will be called in the next few days, hopefully.
But this is quite different from the quote-unquote general body of work that you're identified with.
Yes.
So was this a risk that you're taking, or this is something which you want to do? Because I remember some time back when we had this conversation and you said, no, I want to get into doing a little more.
The thing is that I must remind you that I'm from Lucknow. And I've studied and I've done my Visharad from in Indian classical vocal from Sri Pandit Ganesh Prasad Mishra ji for 12 years. So actually I never got into it. That's how I started, and that is who I am. It's just that commercially, my first opportunity that I got professionally was Bollywood music and mainstream Bollywood music. But this is a whole other side of me which is probably coming out now, and a lot more is coming out now in terms of now going and giving back to my Guruji first, and to Lucknow, to UP, to Uttar Pradesh, where I come from and where the music came to me from.
So if I were to ask you, what is it that you're feeling, express it in a song, what would you want to sing?
Na de re de re da ni ta da ni ta ta
tadani do.
Dani tadani do. Ho dena tadana dir tanu tanare. Ho dena
Tadana dir tanu tanare.
tadare dani dim tadim tadim.
Tadare dani di.
Nadir dani tadani do. Tana nadir dani tadani do.
Tana.
Tadare dani dim tara tumre dani nadir dani tadani do. Ho dena tadana dir tanu tanare. Ho dena tadana dir tanu
Tadana.
tadare dani dim tadim tadim tadare dani
Dim tadim tadim.
tadare tare dani nadir dani
Tadani di.
nadir dani tadani tom tana nadir dani tadani tom tana nadir dani dim 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 tana na na na
Dim 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 dim. Tadana na na na. Tadana na 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 na. Di 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 di. Tadana na 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 na.
tiri tana tiri tana
Di di tana di di tana di di tana di di tana di di tana di di tana.
tana na 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 nadir dani
Tadani do.
tana na 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 nadir dani tadani tana na 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 nadir dani tadani tom nadir dani tadani tom nadir dani tadani tom.
Wow.
क्या बात है, very nice, very nice.
It's a interesting confluence of three very powerful singers, and I'm just doing a Durga mantra with it.
You're doing a lot of things. You're co-producing, you're backing vocals, you're composing, you've done composed all the 12 tracks, Siddhant. But there is a lot of Shiva and Shakti. Is there any Ram?
Yes, in fact there is Ram.
There is Ram.
Very well.
Started with
Janaki Manoharam Janaki Manoharam Sarvalokanayakam Shankaradi Sevyaman Punyanam Kirtanam Punyanam Kirtanam Punyanam Kirtanam Ram 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 Nam Tarakam Ram Krishna Vasudeva Bhakti Mukti Dayakam Ram Krishna Vasudeva Bhakti Mukti Dayakam. So it's a very beautiful mantra called the Ram Tarak mantra.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
Gama Badazane Badamaga Madhava Magare re ni sa re da ba ni da ba ma ga re sa re ma ga.
Lovely. What conversation to have when musicians are having a conversation. Who would have thought that we've got such a mini concert with such top artists here and all in the guise of a conversation and an interview. So I'm going to thank you for that. Okay. Yes, Hanji.
I mean, before we finish, I'd love to do a little piece. It is a spiritual song that I started my career with.
Please, go ahead.
It's called Jugni. But please join in, guys. At least on Jugni ji.
Yes.
जुगनी तार खाई विच थाल छड़ दुनिया दे जंजाल कुछ नहीं निभना बंदिया हनाल रखी साबत सिद्ध दा अमहल वो पीर मेरे आ जुगनी जी ए दया लवालिया दी जुगनी जी ए बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी ए बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी ए वे मौला निवाली जुगनी जी ए वे मौला निवाली जुगनी जी ए बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी ए बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी दम गुटकू 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 गुटकू जुगनी डिक पई विच रोई ओ थेरो कमली होई जुगनी डिक पई विच रोई ओ थेरो कमली होई ओदी बात लैंदा कोई दी कल मैं बिना दी मिलदी तोई होई पीर मेरे आ जुगनी जी ए गया लवालिया दी जुगनी जी बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी ए मारा निवाली जुगनी जी ए मारा निवाली जुगनी जी बिना भी पीर दी जुगनी जी
Lovely, fantastic. Let's finish with the sounds of Kumbh.
Yeah. कुंभ कुंभ ये महाकुंभ है 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 कुंभ 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 ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ कुंभ ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ कुंभ ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ 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 ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ कुंभ ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ कुंभ ये महाकुंभ है कुंभ 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 कुंभ
Co-powered by
Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. We're starting off with a piece of breaking news that has significant ramifications for India as well as for Pakistan. A US Republican congressman, House of Representatives, Joe Wilson, has drafted a Pakistan democracy bill which he seeks to bring before the US House of Representatives. The bill basically sets down that it is US policy to restore democracy in Pakistan. Significantly, what this bill also proposes to do is mandate a 30-day determination of sanctions to be imposed on Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir. It also says that other Pakistani generals and their families could be deterred from coming into the United States. Their visas could be impounded and they can be stopped from coming into the United States because they played a part in setting back the democratic process